Hi, I'm Lianne Sentar.
And I'm Rebecca Scoble.
We're here today to talk about our series Tokyo Demons, which is serialized illustrated prose. That's basically a fancy way of saying a novel with pictures that we release in chunks online.
We're also doing a dramatized audiobook, which is like a regular audiobook, except with different actors for each character, plus original music and sound effects. Lianne's writing the story, and I'm doing the audiobook.
Tokyo Demons is the story of two Japanese teenagers, Ayase Watanabe, a young woman who can turn into a swarm of killer insects that, well, a lot like bees, and Joe Oda, a young man who's sort of street smart and a pickpocket. He's supposed to be charming, but he robs people, so he's also pretty terrible.
It's basically the story of these two kind of loner characters with secrets getting sucked into this massive underground gang war, and there's supernatural powers and danger and romance and all of the things that, well, we think make a story entertaining.
It's very much in the vein of manga and Japanese light novels, like supernatural teenagers, urban fantasy, that kind of thing. Rebecca and I have worked in the English manga and light novel industry for a number of years. I was first hired by Tokyopop when I was a teenager in the late 90s. Rebecca joined me a few years later, and we've worked either together or separately on a crapload of titles. Manga like Fruits Basket and Sayuki, light novels like Slayers and Scrap Princess, mostly for Tokyopop, but also for a few other companies.
So we're giant manga nerds, but as much as we love manga, there are certain themes that we didn't really see enough of, or there'd be these great stories that were marred with sexism or something, which is something that becomes really obvious when you're a woman working in media. We wanted to create a story that had everything we love about manga without the stuff we didn't like. We wanted a giant, multi-ethnic cast, we wanted a variety of strong female and male characters, we wanted a bunch of different types of love stories, some really conventional and others less so, that sort of thing.
We designed the first version of Tokyo Demons with our friend Adam Ford almost exactly 10 years ago. It's gone through a ton of changes since then, and we've refined it constantly to improve it. The perspective is evenly split between Ayase's point of view and Joe's, and between the chapter illustrations, the character pages, and these relationship charts we put together, we tried to give it some of the visual power of manga even if it's a novel.
The illustrations are done by Rem, who's really insanely talented, as you can probably see. She did the art for the Vampire Kisses manga for Tokyopop back a couple of years ago, but now she's best known for doing the manga adaptation of the Soulless novels for Yen Press. She's making it really, really beautiful, and we love her.
We seriously love her.
Plus, we have this audiobook format that we think gives a bit more texture to the story, so, a lot of the characters have their own theme music, we have a giant cast of voice actors who are doing a really excellent job, even though most of them are pretty new to acting. They're helping us with the creation process and giving us feedback and taking their characterizations very seriously.
The good news is, before we ask for money, we're not asking you to trust that we're not, scam artists or just horribly untalented. We already started Tokyo Demons last year. You can go to the website at tokyodemons.com and read most of Book 1. Most of the pictures are up. You can listen to what we finished of the audiobook, which is 3 chapters so far. All the content is free, so, you can go crazy. There's a lot out there.
What we're trying to do now is fund Book 2. Tokyo Demons is supposed to be 3 books long, and we funded Book 1 ourselves, which is pretty expensive. We'd really like to continue, but we're kinda out of money, so we need help.
For those of you who have already read Book 1, or those of you who are going to read Book 1, Book 2 is kind of where the meat of a lot of the exciting stuff happens. It's mostly fighting and making out. There are a lot of secrets that get revealed. It's gonna be really fun, which is partially why we're pushing so hard to get it funded. Book 1 was largely kind of a prologue to what's going to happen and introduce the majority of the characters and that sort of thing, but Book 2 is when everything kind of hits the fan and stuff gets really terrible and awesome.
So as for what we're trying to do, obviously the main thing we're trying to raise money for is printing costs. Some of the money is going to go toward illustrations, and anything left over is going to go into a much-needed computer upgrade for the audio.
She's recording and mixing the audiobook and all the music on this incredibly old eMac, which is a model that doesn't even exist anymore.
It has 20 gigs of space. That's like what phones have now.
She's done a really good job mixing the audiobook with that computer so far, but it's getting older and it won't stop crashing. We think it's pretty close to exploding to a fireball and taking us both with it. Also, all our voice actors get paid in pizza, but considering Book 2 has a few embarrassing love scenes, we need better bribes to get them to do it. So, elaborate toppings for their pizza, smoked salmon, tiny cheeseburgers. We've put together a bunch of awards if you pitch in, including some original content if you donate enough.
You could get drawn into the background of an illustration, probably getting beaten up. There's also an option where you could create your very own mini-drama. Something where if you're a writer, you can write it yourself, or you can just give a basic outline to Lianne and she will write something for you, and then we'll get all of our actors to perform it. The top award is an original illustration by Rem of anything you want. Well, not 18+, but pretty close to that is okay. You can have it be something very meaningful and moving, or it can be some sort of ridiculous slash, or some kind of Mary Sue of you making out with your favorite character, whatever you want.
The cast is drawn as, dolphins having a dolphin party.
Don't don't request that, please. As a personal favor to me, please don't do that.
Please help fund us. We love you.